All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Happy Friday again. Let's go ahead and get started on the day. I feel like sometimes I do repeat the same things over and over. I kind of got that feeling lately, kind of like looking at the same charts. Again, guys, this is a business of consistency and good habits. Keep pushing, keep researching. That's what you got to do. This is not a hobby. You have to really be into it in order to succeed. Sometimes you're going to get bored of looking at the same macro and the same this and the same that, but you got to master in order to progress. Let's go ahead and go over today's headlines, obviously. Today being the payroll number. So let's go ahead and take a look at that here on the Bloomberg. You'd see U.S. October payrolls increased 261,000, estimated 193,000. Futures are green this morning. This is a little bit delayed on my futures, so I have it real time on Thinkorswim. That's why I do use both. Sometimes with Bloomberg, it is expensive, but it's a la carte, so you pick exactly what you need. If you need futures, you need futures. I don't have the futures set up just for charts, but not real time on Bloomberg. So this number here is not the most accurate. This would be the most accurate, just to give you a heads up right here, 37.77. We'll go around the horn on all the updated prices after we go over the unemployment number. 3.7%, the unemployment does rise from 3.5%. So that's really the number that stands out. Stock futures are up on that information. Let's go around the horn. All right, so the Dow futures up 309 points, Nasdaq 172 points, S&P futures 3777 up 1.34%, Russell up 1.3%, and crude oil is up nicely 4.62%. Are we really starting to cook now on crude? Let's go ahead and chart that here quickly for anyone out there who's looking to buy energy stocks, which are still relatively cheap. They've had a great run in 2021, 2022 so far. We are now at the 100-day moving average. Let's see if we break above that. Really, the psychological number you're looking for is 100. But if you can take a look here, the past 3 years in terms of crude oil, I mean, we're barely just bouncing back above 90. We're right now at the 20 MA on the weekly. Again, you could see how high we got to 130. Would I be trading oil here today? Not really, but energy stocks are interesting. Uh, Again, I've tried to play calls this week on my own. I didn't catch them personally. I didn't think it was that good enough for a trade. I actually had the 93 strike for this week, but again, it was a personal trade. I really didn't go heavy, but I had to take that for a loss. So energy price action hasn't been the best lately, but now you can see that we're starting to move higher with equity. So good on the energy sector right now. Gold futures are up 2%. The dollar is down 1%. So thank you to the dollar sinking post NFP. We were a little higher. Now we're starting to cook lower on the dollar. Silver futures up 4.79%. So again, risk on right now. Everyone's pretty happy, I guess, with a better jobs report, but that narrative didn't fit what we were talking about before. We need lower jobs. We need this. We need that. August and September jobs numbers were revised higher. So again, the labor market is still strong. Maybe the market's liking that unemployment rate of 3.7% or expecting jobs number to go down. If the layoffs are any indication, we will. So I guess in the market's eyes today, we're in the right path of job cuts, maybe. The way I see it in terms of the price action, at least on the future side this morning, everyone was short ahead of NFP. Everyone that was short on Fed Day was getting to go short on NFP, and right now they're probably not happy. So this is why I didn't have really any risk up for the NFP report. Didn't have much trading this week anyways. So again, now we got those two reports out. Now we move on to the next cycle. What's going on next week? And we have CPI next week, PPI next week. We also have the midterm elections. So a lot to go by on just it's almost never over, right? It's always something to look forward to, which makes this business fun. Euro dollar 98.65. That is up 117 pips this morning. Again, this is why DXY the dollar. Dollar yen 147.08 down 121 pips. Pound dollar up 110 112.69. Bitcoin is up 2.71%. Remember, we've been talking about Bitcoin, even with that flush from the Fed, it's been holding up above 20. Now it's near 21,000. 1618 for Ethereum, up 4.66%. Take a look at the VIX this morning, down to around 24. Not a lot of fear in the market, or the VIX is broken. Your call. The 10-year yields now at 4.154, $111.66, down 1.12%. The VIX 24.75. Let's chart the dollar quickly together. Right now, we're starting to hit kind of a support level that we can go by, 111.62. I'll place an alert there and see if we break down below it. Does this price action excite me? I mean, I just think it's a counter trade. That's all it was. Everyone was so short heading to the NFP, thinking it was just going to be like the FOMC, where we got red during the day. I think that will probably get to 3,800 and probably just stay there for the actual week. If anything, that pivot point of 3,750, that's really your support now. That's what you're looking for on S&P. In terms of the dollar, 113 being your resistance. Let's see if you break below 111.62. In terms of 10-year yields, we have a gap to fill at 4.073. So let's keep that in mind. And we also have a trend line to watch on the volatility index, or the VIX. You can take a look at the daily here. It's at 24. So let's place an alert at, let's say, 23.86. That's the trend line. That might be a bounce. That may be a time to close out some longs, at least short term. But so far, at least the price action now is indicating that we are going to continue higher. Maybe 3,800 is where we're going to go. And now we just look for opportunities to get there. If you want to stay long ahead of the midterm elections, ahead of the CPI and PPI, you're basically going for next week. I probably don't think it would be prudent to trade for today's expiry unless we get a real big short squeeze. And to me, a real big short squeeze would be 3,800. If that ignites, then there's going to be some opportunity out there for scalpers. Let's answer some questions. Happy Friday. What stocks are you watching today? So let's go ahead and answer that question by taking a look at some pre-market movers. So again, this gives us an opportunity to take a look at, what's getting the volume ahead of time and what's trading. All right, let's see. Pre-market. All right, DraftKings is down 20% this morning after earnings. NIO is up 8%. We'll take a look at those names. Apple's up. Again, there was a lot of puts yesterday, a lot of volume. Caterpillar, Nike, Chevron. Take a look at that. S&P, Tesla, Amazon, everything is up except PayPal and DraftKings out of the major names because of earnings. So let's go ahead and take a name that I was looking at as well, which was Square or Block. Again, they had earnings as well. If we break above 62.11, I want to take a look at those high betas. Roku did bounce back nicely after their earnings. You could see kind of that V-shaped recovery off of 45. If you can get above maybe 56 or break below 43, Roku's maybe worth a shot. DraftKings, if you're right at support right now, you could possibly play a turnaround to 14 calls. Maybe if you break 1335, if you get a little bit of a short cover right after this earnings that we just had, DraftKings is down. We're right near support on the hourly. That's something I'd be watching. Let's take a look at Apple. Everyone loves Apple, right? Apple is right above 141.76. Can possibly have a target of 145.29. You buy the 145 for next week, as long as we can hold above 141.77, which is that 23.6 fib. Microsoft hit a 52-week low just yesterday. Maybe we can get to 220. There is no gaps to fill, so not the best setup here yet either. Let's take a look at Google. Again, not the best setup either. So Google, Microsoft, not much unless you're shorting. Amazon, the same. Apple probably looks the best out of those major names. Let's take a look at Meta. Same deal, not much going on there. Alibaba has a gap up. You also have here 72.51. If that does break, you could possibly target here at 76.75 for a quick scalp. Those are some names that just stood out right now. But in terms of the market, let's take a look at SPY. The totality of the market. All right, SPY on the hourly is above the 50 MA. Let's see if we get above 376.46. If that does happen, you just target the 380 calls. If we get below 370, that's where you're shorting to 365. That's kind of the target I'm looking for. We did wick 370. Let's see if we get actual candle there, or maybe revisit. Probably looks doubtful now as we're getting some strength into the opening bell. Some thoughts regarding Babel bounce and critical levels. Hey, I just went over it. There you go. Do you have any thoughts on how the market might react to a hypothetical Republican wave in the midterms? So if we do get when again, I was reading the polls actually last night, and it's the thing is that they were talking about this is 538. This is the same people that predicted Hillary to win in 2020, and they got that wrong. 2022, they said it would be closer than it would be, and they got that wrong. In terms of the 2020 presidential election, 2016, they got it wrong when Hillary Clinton lost to President Trump. So again, polls can be skewed. It's really tough to call it. At least me, I can't say I'm a political expert. I do go by history, just like the stock market. I mean, 2018 we had a split Congress. Stock market did okay. Uh, December rate hikes withstanding. 2019 was okay after the midterms. 20 what was the last midterm for 2014? Markets did okay after they split midterm. Same thing in 2010. We were out of the financial crisis by then, or the throes of the financial crisis when in 2010 Obama Democrat Party lost seats in Congress as well, and that was a big loss to them. That was one of the bigger moves or bigger gains of Congress. So if you do get a red wave Republican Party win, I think stocks do benefit from that. Less regulatory things in terms of business, probably loosen up financial, not financial conditions, but more regulatory things. Definitely would be helpful for energy. The problem is that Republicans are for more drilling. That would bring the price down of oil. So again, that may not be helpful for energy. At least it would stay away from that tax that Biden's talking about. So again, if you do predict a Republican red wave, energy might be the play as well. Obviously, gun manufacturers would be another. Obviously, gun rights and stuff like that. Again, if you're just trading based on politics, those are pretty much the big two. But yes, if we do have a Republican red wave, we'd have a split Congress. Even if they just only take the House, maybe they take the Senate or they don't. But I think the House is the key one, and they are looking like they will. Throughout history, the only president in the last 22 years that did not lose seats of his own party during his first term of administration was in 2002, George W. Bush, with a 91% approval rating post 9/11. That's pretty much a deviation of the mean. Expect Republicans to win the House at minimum. That's my expectation. The Senate, I have no idea. But that's where we are, and I do expect a bounce with that news. A split Congress is a good for the stock market. Do you think it'll be a green day today? I do. Again, how many times do I say that, right? Again, we talked about really the target is 3,800. We may just hover around there for a bit. But other than that, what real news is new today? Other than we may just retrace the FOMC flush. We may get that by Tuesday, for all we know. So all that flush from 38.75 to 37.25, we may just revisit that by Monday or Tuesday, or with that Republican red wave, if we get it, we may just get to 38.50, and all that FOMC with the same information and the same news and the same hawkishness, we just go back to where we were. Fun, fun. AMD, some puts at 63. Let's go ahead and take a look at it together. Yeah, sometimes I feel like we're trading on the same information, but that's just how it goes. Let's see, maybe some puts at 63. Yeah, that seems to be a key resistance. I have a level to break at 64.33 for a breakout. So 63 is a nice a resistance level there, unless S&P just completely breaks out. But look at this choppy movement. Not the easiest thing to trade right now on AMD. So I think there's better charts out there. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is probably a better chart. We did trade NVIDIA, mind you. I had the calls, I still have them, but we told the members, hey, close it if you feel nervous about the FOMC. I have a 145 call still. So again, unless we get some kind of insanity, maybe I can close that break even. But again, other than that, not much going on. So what can you do? All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your weekend. Football on Sunday, but no Cowboys. That's not always fun, which is the bye week. So, other than that, baseball, we have the World Series, I think, on this week. Astros did win. So, maybe if the Astros win the World Series, we won't have a financial catastrophe, as we shared that post before that when the Phillies win the World Series, we have a financial catastrophe. So, you know, whoever wins. But if you're into that, there you go. Give you some reason to watch. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We will see you guys on Monday for the morning note, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cheers.